This presentation will be on the impact of digital transformation on the customer journey, specifically focusing on identifying potential problems and issues that might arise due to this transition. Now, the purpose of my research is really understanding the customer journey as he or she interacts and engages with a company's, a business's online presence. So when I specifically say what my research questions are, it's really the embodiment of how can a company become compliant and remain compliant in this new era of privacy laws, digital privacy laws. As you may know or may not know, so far, there are a multitude of digital marketing laws that are popping up. CCPA, which predominantly is only California, has a lot of structure with regards to how a company or a business uses your personal data that they are able to get from digital channels, as well as how they market to you digitally. This is extremely important because if you think of the landscape of how businesses go to market, whether it's B2C marketing, business to consumer marketing, or business to business marketing, it's having to have that digital outreach, whether it's email, social media, text messaging, calls, everything now rotates around that digital element. My research is hoping to delve into how we can still be cognizant of the laws and regs that are coming out, specifically the United States. My research is a little bit more granular where it's not going global, where it's not factoring in other countries or other blocks of their digital privacy. It's specifically looking at how small, medium businesses can get ahead of that digital privacy curve while also bringing in that lens, that perspective of their customers. Three of the things that really stood out, why I'm studying it, again, it's all about that customer journey. How a customer journey begins, i.e., they're looking for that information 9 out of 10 times, specifically during the COVID pandemic, they're going to go online. So how do you set up your website so it's future-proof to be compliant, not only now, but moving forward? And how do you bring your consumers along for that ride as you start to transition? So again, this research is something that has an ultimate importance. You see a lot of brands, a lot of businesses are pivoting because they understand there potentially is going to be state by state and then federal regulations. It's how do you still work within those laws and regs and still give your customers aspects of that journey that they're used to so you're not pivoting or shifting too far to the left or too far to the right. This slide I feel is important for anybody who's coming along on this presentation so that you can understand some of the selected digital privacy concepts and definitions, whether it be consumer information privacy, privacy concerns, privacy self-regulation, or privacy and strategy. Again, these are the building blocks of any digital marketer, specifically how he or she goes to market with the understanding of the laws and regs of that market as it relates to digital marketing, as well as digital mining for their consumers' information. Now, when I think about the totality of this landscape, there are really three things that truly pop out. Digital privacy and consumer behavior. I would say we're at the beginning of this journey where consumers aren't necessarily knowledgeable of that process of being compliant to laws now as well as emerging laws. I did do slight qualitative research, and I understand that consumers, even when confronted, when they go to a website and they have a pop-up box, they're still not necessarily within that frame of, is this something that I have to do? Is something that's required? And what I'm specifically referring to is consent. Again, so the way that consumers are interacting is not interfering or dissipating that whole customer journey because a lot of them are unaware. And ideally, I would say as a business you should become compliant with the laws and regs, but doing so in a fashion where your consumers don't necessarily notice. And when I say notice, i.e., you're not disrupting what their journey looks. Some of the gaps in research that I've been able to uncover through doing the literature review is that it's an emerging trend. A lot of businesses are slow to kind of come up to speed. California is really the trendsetter with regards to digital privacy within North America. There has been some movement with individual states to try to roll out certain policies that emulate the California model. But again, there's no time frame, there's been no onus to actually have your consumer protected from a lot of the digital violations that have happened, whether it be cybersecurity, whether it be someone hacking into a system and extracting your data, or with regards to businesses, how I'm extracting your information and then packaging it and using it to market to you, promote to you, i.e., kind of invading that digital privacy that you probably as a consumer have, but you don't know how to articulate. And again, the third bucket is how do you balance those privacy concerns with marketing objectives? As a marketer of 25 years, a marketer has his or her objectives that they want to obtain, whether it be greater market penetration, revenue generation, retention. How do I hit those three buckets while being aware of the privacy concerns that are starting to bubble up, not only from states and federal government, but from consumers themselves? Three of the themes that I've been able to uncover. Again, as this legal landscape of digital marketing begins to evolve, it's understanding how they're going to impact digital marketing, understanding that each state has their own individual laws. But again, if you think of a business, most businesses operate across states. How are you able to weave those laws and regs into your marketing plan so that you're not disrupting your customer journeys? Global privacy, that's something that I'm probably going to speak less of within the research. Again, a dissertation topic of this magnitude has the ability to go off on tangents, especially when you're looking at the global landscape, whether it be Europe, Africa, Asia. Each continent has their own specific digital privacy that are coming out. And informed consent. How do we delve into getting that informed consent from consumers during their customer journey where it's not disruptive or it's not something that detracts from them engaging with your brand, whether it's be through your website, through your social media. My last slide is kind of a reflection on the consumer behavior market class as a whole. What I've noticed specifically with this class is I never thought about instituting kind of that consumer behavior lens through a dissertation. It was mainly going to be on the execution aspect in terms of how do I make these small to medium businesses compliant. And that's a look at whether it be a leadership model, methodology in terms of the execution. What this class really extracted from me is putting that consumer behavior lens on, understanding that consumer roadmap, and how that's an element of any business going to market, specifically as it relates to digital marketing within the age of the changing legal landscape. What I do want to finish on, I know I'm over time, so I just want to say thank you, Professor White. It has been a very informative class, specifically with the discussion boards, as well as the readings. Hopefully we cross paths again, whether it be outside of the university or as a potential mentor as I'm finishing up the dissertation, or sorry, beginning that dissertation process. Again, thank you for a brilliant semester. Thank you for assigning readings that really resonated specifically as it relates to consumer behavior. And thank you for your ongoing feedback on the discussion boards as well as my papers.